Hello, 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 and welcome to our live stream. I was ready with about 7 seconds to spare, so I'm full of adrenaline. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you. We're going to do a general sort of cruise Q&A today, so if you have any cruise questions, please drop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. I hope you are all well. I see many of you already in here. It is nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hello to the cruise boys. Hello to Janet. Hello to Anna. Hello to Jackie. Loads of people in here. So I am taking a cruise tomorrow, which is very, very excited. I'm not prepared at all, but this is a cruise that sails from my home port. It sails from England, so there's no flights, there's no time zones. I don't have to worry about taxis or hotels or anything like that. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. I cannot wait. Packing can wait until after this live stream, I think. It'll be fine. I think I have everything I need, but I'm not feeling prepared. I'm not feeling prepared. If you do have a question, if you can start it with question in capital letters, that makes it so much easier for me to pick out what is a question. And I will do my best to answer as many as I can. I see comments that say about taking vacations from vacations. I mean, I run my own business now, so when I'm at home, I work 24/7. That's why I haven't packed or anything yet, because I've been trying to get a lot of stuff done before I go. And I do also work when I'm on cruises because, yeah, that's how this works. That's how this works. Don't forget your Hudsons. Yeah, I haven't packed Hudson yet. We have Hudson version 3 here. He is not packed. He's not ready. So many questions. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm taking a P&O cruise tomorrow, cruising P&O's Arvia. I booked this one quite a long time ago. I booked it after a cruise on P&O's Iona. I think they're very similar. Hopefully this is the sunshine version, so fingers crossed we get a little bit of sunshine. But I have, just before this, it took me 2 hours, but I have finished the last video from Japan, not edited it, I've recorded it. So that next one will be done when I come back from this next cruise. It is all busy. It is go, go, go. It's very exciting. If you can keep your questions quite specific, it gives me a lot more chance to answer them. If your question is just, what is the best cruise? I have an hour, but I don't want to spend 1 hour going through what is the best cruise for everybody. So please give me as much information as you can. If you can also keep your questions quite kind of short, because I'm not pausing to read. I'm reading as I'm speaking. So if you can use nice short words, that would be fantastic. Edward says, do you miss Coke Plus? I do not. Every time I have a Coke now, I'm like, I know what is in this, 100%. It is safe. But Coke Plus is the Japanese Coke that they served on my last cruise on board Spectrum of the Seas. And when I Googled it, the first thing that came up is Japan is losing its mind and bows over a new laxative cola. And that is not what you want to find when you Google a drink. James says, where do you depart from? I depart from the wonderful Southampton, which is very, very easy. Very easy. Yes, I loved my last cruise. It was fantastic. But the sort of 14-hour flights, 8-hour time difference, it was quite a lot. So this time I'm quite happy to be staying closer to home. Good morning. Oh, yeah, it's morning for some of you. Some of you, it's evening. We have people joining from all over the world. It's dinner time here in the UK, and it is feeling autumnal. It is feeling like summer is gone completely, but hopefully I'll see the sun on my next cruise. So I am wearing a jumper today, as we would say in the UK. You may call this a sweater. It is officially called a sweater on my website. So I have made the discount this week, the word sweaters. I actually haven't put the thing on the screen. Here it is. There we go. Discount sweaters, emmacruisesshop.com, and that is all of these sweaters, which are super nice because they have nice cuffs at the bottom and they're nice and soft, which I really like. So interesting comments. Thank you so much to the moderators who look after this chat. I would not be doing this without you. I appreciate you very, very much. Questions like, what is the best cruise for my family? I need to know a lot more information about what your family likes, what you like, where you want to go. There's 1,000 questions I need to answer. But what I have done is I have put together a guide on my website that has every single cruise line split by price, split by formality, split by how busy the onboard schedule is. And if you go to emmacruises.com, download that, you'll have a really good idea, because you'll see some of them and be like, no way. And you'll see some of them and be like, yes. So if you start there, it'll then go into my free email course, which is about, the cabins, how to book it, where to book it. Everything I know about cruising is in that free course. Interesting. Okay, please keep the questions short. I can't pause to read because it's so boring for everybody else. Thank you so much, everyone who's come to these live streams time after time. I'm sure you have noticed the difference. We get a lot more comments now. It goes a lot faster than it used to. We started these live streams in March of 2020. And I think the first time we hit 100 on the live, it was terrifying. And we have 447 here right now. So yes. Kevin says, have you ever taken a cruise from the US? This is the perfect sort of question. It is short. It begins with question. Kevin, you get 10 out of 10 for your question there. But yes, I've cruised loads of times from the US. I have cruised out of New York multiple times. I've cruised from Miami. I have cruised in Alaska, and I've cruised in Hawaii. I think that is it, but that's pretty good. When will your first Japanese video go up? So the first video from that cruise is already up. It is about my obstructed view cabin. If you haven't already seen that, please check that out. It was an interesting cabin, but I was happy with my choice. The next video is going to be all about the ports. So we went from Singapore to Tokyo, stopping in Vietnam and Hong Kong. I don't normally do destination specific videos. They don't normally do very well on my channel, but I couldn't go all the way to Hong Kong. And I think it is so fascinating. I couldn't not make a video about it and share it. So hopefully you guys like it. The next one will be about the ports. And then the video after that, which I spent 2 hours recording today. It won't be 2 hours long. Don't worry. It'll be about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But that is going to be about what it was like to cruise on a American cruise line with a ship that was designed for China. Because that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Did I miss your video from your Hawaii cruise? I was 11 years old, so I wasn't filming for my YouTube channel. And I don't think I took any photos. We have a few photos from that cruise, but certainly wasn't my plan. How long did it take you to learn DaVinci? So DaVinci is the editing software that I use. I used Final Cut Pro for many years. I started on the free version of iMovie, and it didn't take me very long at all. I'd say within a month, I was back to the same place as I was at after having learned Final Cut Pro for about 5 or 6 years, because in DaVinci, you can open it in different modes. So if you're used to Final Cut Pro, you open it in DaVinci mode, or you open it in Final Cut Pro, you open it in Final Cut or Premiere or whatever it is, and all of the things are the same. So if you've done something before, make sure you're in the right mode, because it makes it an awful lot easier. Tell us about tomorrow's cruise, hoping it's MSC World Europa. It is not MSC World Europa. I'm cruising on P&O's Arvia tomorrow, which is very exciting. Cruising with my family, looking forward to it, hoping it'll be a very sort of calm and chilled out cruise. My last cruise was very much go, go, go. I didn't want to waste a second. I did excursions in most ports, and I don't feel the need to do that on this cruise, so I'm just going to chill out. I'll be working, so everything should be as normal. Have you ever considered doing a cruise like Hurtigruten? I have, yes. They're not a budget cruise line, Hurtigruten, but I would love to do it, yeah, sometime. Ali says, what camera do you use? I really want to start my own live art channel. As far as the videos on my channel go, my normal cruise vlogs, 90% iPhone. I use an Insta360, which is how I get the shots that look like drones. I don't have a drone. I have no interest in having a drone. There's too many rules around drones, stressful. And right now, when I record my videos at home, I have a Canon M50. I think that's the easiest proper camera you're going to get. I press on, I press off, I press record, and I press stop. That's about it. And I like that one. Jonathan says, what is your favorite port to depart from? I feel like nothing tops New York City. New York City does have that really nice long sail away, which is really cool. The port itself was fine, the terminal and stuff. I mean, if we look at which cruise port I choose to cruise from the most, it's probably Barcelona, because it's within an hour and a half on the plane from England. It is sunny. They are set up there for, 4 or 5 cruise ships. So it's pretty good. What were the best meals on your Asia cruise? It was interesting. I ate a lot of mix and match meals, because I ate a lot in the buffet on this cruise because we had busy excursions. When we came back, we were hungry. I didn't necessarily want to wait till dinner time, so I ate at all different times. Plus, I was really quite jet lagged because the time difference was 7, 8, 9 hours different. So I ate a lot sort of in the cafe and in the buffet, and I'd be like, don't know what that is. I'll try that. But then also on the side, I'll have a Yorkshire pudding. So it was really weird. Iona and Avia, what are the differences, says Phil. I will let you know more, of course, when I know, but the initial impression I have from Iona and Avia is Iona is designed for cold weather, Avia is designed for warm weather. They're pretty similar. Rich says, any progress on the Where's Hudson website? Yeah, there's some progress. It's not ready yet. It's a lot more complicated than I thought. But by the time that we have Hudson version 3 arriving, then it should be all ready. So Hudson version 3 is on sale if you haven't already got one. We've sold 1,300 and something so far, I think, of Captain Hudson. Again, all profits going to Mercy ships. And this is the current version. This is version 3 with his little jacket, and it says Emma Cruises on the back. And I think he is very sweet. So that's version 3. They're all slightly different too, which I think is kind of cute. Yes. Thank you so much to everyone who has ordered. It's been just crazy. We've overtaken the other versions already, so there's going to be so many Captain Hudsons in the world. But it will be at least, I haven't worked it out, but it'll be at least $10,000, I think, for Mercy ships so far from version 3. So pretty good. Have you been on Ventura since the refit? I don't think so. I think I was on her pre-refit. If you check out my Christmas cruise videos, I took a Christmas cruise on Ventura, and I think that they did another refit. They do refits all the time on ships that are that old. So let me know. You're gonna have to let me know if I was on it before or after, I mean. How much longer is version 3 on sale for? About a week and a bit. So the 22nd, I believe, is when Captain Hudson is not on sale anymore. I'm trying my best to get them all delivered before Christmas. That's the thing. So we're doing everything as fast as we can. I've already sort of bulk ordered the ones that we have. So if all goes well, it should be delivered before Christmas, which I think is pretty cool. No guarantees, though, of course. Do you plan on going on a New Year's cruise? Seems like Royal has made sales. I don't have any plans to. I've never cruised over New Year. I don't really care about New Year, to be honest. I don't think it's one of the interesting parts of the year. Doesn't really bother me too much. I see some chat about my plug socket guide on my website. So I spent, I don't know how many hours, many hours looking at pictures and YouTube videos to find out what plug sockets are in every single cabin, because it's really annoying to not know. Normally the cruise lines don't tell you on their websites. So I have this big searchable table. You can put in the cruise line, you can put in the ship, and it will be at least what it says. I've based it on inside cabins. Would a Norwegian Fjord Northern Lights cruise from the UK be a good choice for a first cruise? The first part of that, yes. The second part, no. Would a Norwegian Fjord cruise be good? Yes. In summer, yes. Would a Northern Lights cruise? I don't think so, because it was the roughest weather that I've ever had on the Northern Lights cruise that I took. If that was my first cruise, probably wouldn't cruise again, because I was really unwell on that cruise. So yeah, Northern Lights, to see them, you really have to go in winter. It's dark a lot in Norway in winter, more so than the UK even. So Norwegian fjords, yes. Northern Lights, I would say no. Where is the real Hudson? He was here a minute ago, but I was having a technical problem with my camera just before this. Normally I would try and coax him into the room, but he's not here. He knows to come in here for Dreamies, though, so if he wants some, he'll be here. But I thought it was more important to have a camera than a Hudson, because you wouldn't be able to see Hudson without the camera, but you can at least see me, even if we don't have Hudson. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So yes, this week's discount is the word sweaters, which is hard for me to put that as the discount and for me to say it, because this is very much a jumper in the UK. But the one that I have on today, it says, all I want for Christmas is a cruise, and it has a little bow on it. And I designed it myself, so I hope you like it. I'm going to be wearing this for most of the winter, I think. So yes. The discount's 24 hours only. I try and do them with each live stream, and it is every sweater. It's not just this one. I put all my designs that I have on sweaters or jumpers. I think I may accept this being called a sweater. I think for me, a sweater is like a hoodie without a hood, right? Which I like. I prefer these than hoodies. They're just more comfortable and soft. But I would still, I'd say this is a type of jumper, if that makes sense. What happened to the super chats? I got rid of the super chats. It feels weird. I appreciate them very, very much, but it's not it's not always the best way. If you have a question for me, it's far better if someone spends that money to join my Patreon and I can answer it properly in a podcast when I can do research and things. So yeah, I got rid of them for now. We'll see how it goes. Are you tired from Japan? I don't think I'm tired from Japan. I'm tired because I suppose it comes with running your own business, right? I make my own deadlines and I need deadlines because that's how I work. But I've given myself a lot more work, I think, than I should have because I'm not back for long. Yes. What is there to do in Portland, UK? I have no idea. I took a cruise that went to Portland and I didn't get off in Portland. That was back when you had to do the organized excursions. And if I wanted to go there, I would just drive there from on land. So yeah, I have not been. If someone knows in the chat, please let me know. Yes. Sweaters are knitted in the US. This is a sweatshirt. Yes, sweatshirt. That is true, I suppose. What is the best way to comfort someone nervous about cruising? Stick on a few hours of YouTube videos. I think that is the best way to do it. I think really why cruise YouTube does so well is because it's so hard to try before you buy a cruise, right? A lot of people have these ideas that they're going to be so bored. There's nothing to do. They're stuck on a ship. They feel like it'll be claustrophobic. And then you show them a video of this is what the dining room is like, split over 3 levels. This is all the space on the top. I think until you see it, it's hard to imagine it. So yes, that's what I would say. It is a jumper. Yeah, I'd agree. Where is your Pepsi Max? I don't have one. I don't even have a drink for this live stream. So we're going to see if my voice holds out because I did 2 hours of recording the video before this. And now I talk. But I think I should be able to talk for 3 hours, right? That's not crazy. Not crazy. Yeah, I don't think that's too crazy. Don't think that's too crazy. Have you done a Canada and New England cruise? I have. I took my first Carnival cruise out of New York. And we went to Canada and it was awesome. It was very rainy. I'm used to that because I'm from the UK. But every picture I have, I'm just drenched. Where did you get those Hudson stuffed animals in the background? So these are created, not by me. I'm not the person creating them, but designed by me. And a company in Canada are the ones who make them, basically. And the way that it works is we have one for sale for a few weeks and then it's gone. And then we have another one for sale for a few weeks and then it's gone because they're all handmade. So we have to make them. I place an order for, can I have 1,500 Captain Hudsons, please? And then they get made. So at the minute, Captain Hudson version 3 is on sale. If you go on emmacruises.com and just click get Hudson, then you can find him. But it's only open until the 22nd and then he is gone. He is gone. Love your sweater / jumper. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I love it too. This is very me. I feel very comfortable in this. Don't know if red is my color. Let me know. I wear a lot of red. Sometimes I get comments that are like, red is your color. You should wear this. And then right underneath it is like, please burn that red clothing. It makes you look terrible. So I never know. I'm just going to do what I like to do. How profitable is Captain Hudson? And do you ever wish that the money was going to you as opposed to charity? Well, the thing is when I first designed Captain Hudson, the original one, he's on the floor, actually. He's over there, poor little guy. We needed to get 300. And I thought, there's no way we're going to get 300. Maybe if we do them for charity. I'd heard about Mercy ships. They run hospital ships. And I thought, that sounds good, right? I've always tried to do stuff for charity with my channel. When I hit 100,000 subscribers, I thought, if you told me to say something to 100,000 people, as much as I love telling cruise tips to the internet, I would like to use that for something else, right, as well. So I have shaved my head for charity twice. I don't want to do it a third time. I walked recently 57 kilometers, which I don't want to do that ever again. And Captain Hudson is a brilliant way to raise money for charity, but you also get something. So it feels nice. It feels like you're buying something. You are. It just seems like a good fit of everything. I mean, Mercy ships, they run hospital ships. That feels like a great fit with what we do, right? Cruising. So yeah, no, I don't wish the money was going to me. No. I mean, I don't think it would become what it has become if the money was going to me. And also Mercy ships absolutely deserve it. And it makes me feel nice. It makes me feel like we have such a nice community here. And hopefully when people meet up and they see Hudson or, I have Hudson t-shirts, the money from those goes to me. So if you want to support me, you can buy supporting Hudson merchandise. But the main Hudson, he's 100% for Mercy ships. He is. Best. Oh, some tricky questions in here. If you have something specific that I don't know about and I don't answer it, it's probably because it may be something that a travel agent really should answer. Um, so that's why. If you do need a travel agent, I do have recommended agents across the world. If you go to emmacruises.com and then just click which country you're from, we can help. But some things are just a little bit. I want the 637 people watching to. It makes sense to them as well. Makes sense? Do you know the Britishism tickety boo? Yeah, of course. It is everything's tickety boo, right? Like it's good. Wesley always says that on P&O on the tannoy. Tannoy is a Britishism, I've learned. Any tips on how much do you pay during a cruise or save/splurge on things to maximize your experience? So this is something I was talking about just before I came on this live stream, because in my last video that I recorded today, I'm talking about my cruise from Singapore to Tokyo, which is not a budget cruise. It's not a budget cruise, but I saved money on things that don't really matter to me so that I can spend money on things that make a difference. I think that's what it's about. People will say, oh, he's so stingy, he's never spend any money. No, I keep money on things I don't care about so I can spend it on things that I do care about. Make sense? So on my last cruise, I had an obstructed view balcony cabin that saved me £300 for the two of us, and I spent that on excursions. And some of the things we saw and did on those excursions, so glad we did. Like, no regrets on that. How different is a princess cruise compared to NCL? Going on my first princess cruise on the 19th. Princess is much more sort of grown up, traditional, romantic is what princess would say, all about the love. And it's just a quieter experience. It's more traditional cruising. So you're never going to find go-karts. You're not going to find whatever else they have on Norwegian, drop slides and that kind of crazy stuff. It is very traditional ship. I think Princess are very, like, I don't know how to say, consistently middle ground good at everything across the board. So I get asked quite a lot, if I had to sort of live on a ship or do a world cruise, which would I pick? And I think Princess, because the food it's nothing extremely crazy, but it's also always good. It's never bad. The entertainment is entertaining, but it's not Broadway musicals. It's just very in the middle. Does that make sense? To me anyway, I think so. How do you respond to people in the UK when they say, you're right, good? If I'm like out in the street and someone goes, oh, hi, you're right. I'm like, yeah, you. And they say, yeah, that's it, normally. Or you just go, Cruise Boys say, which princess would move on from the Love Boat? I've never watched the Love Boat, and I'm not going to pretend that I have. To be fair, it ended a long time ago, right? The original Love Boat. Yeah, Martin says, I'm fine, or good, how are you? Yeah, I'd just say, all right, you. That's probably it. Yeah. I think we have answered that. That is good. What's this tricky question? Which cruise line has the best food in your opinion? Not teeny tiny helpings, but good food in a good amount. It's tricky because what does good food mean? What is the best food? Depends. If you're someone who likes seafood, if you're someone who's vegetarian, if you're someone who doesn't like teeny tiny helpings, other people, the best quality, it might be I don't know, a plant or something from a specific region that some people care about and I just do not care about. I had super noodles with ketchup the other day for lunch, so I don't think I'm qualified to answer these questions. But in all of my videos, I put the food, I show you the menus, and I show you the food, and then you can make a decision. You can think it's great, you can think it's terrible. It's up to you. Yeah, never watched. Yeah, don't tell Princess that. Don't tell Princess that. Matty says, do you ever go on holidays that don't involve cruises? No. I cannot remember. No, not anymore. Because when I had my normal day job, I had my annual leave, and it didn't make sense because I spent 5 or 6 years at my day job building up a cruise business on the side. It made no sense to not do a cruise. It just didn't make sense. And I love cruising. That's the whole point, right? And now I could, but I think I'd be bored very fast. I like to share the cruises I take. That's why I do them. And I do take a bit of a break. For me, when I'm on the cruise, it's very much working. It's not working, but it is working. And then when I'm in the ports, I don't really do much in the ports in the way of filming and stuff. I did on my last cruise because I wanted to, but my break tends to be when I'm in port rather than when I'm on the ship. What is your degree in math in? It is a joint honors degree, mathematics and business. So we did all different types of maths within that. But it is maths in the UK. It's not maths. Noodles with ketchup. Yes, super noodles with ketchup. It doesn't have to be super noodles. Actually, it wasn't super noodles. It was a different, cheaper brand. But any type of instant noodles with ketchup. Yeah. It wasn't soup. It was noodles. And ketchup for pizza. Yeah, of course. Your videos have made me book my first ever cruise, March 2024. Very exciting. Very cool. I always have a second when I'm on a cruise and I meet people, and sometimes they say this to me. They say, oh, I'm here because of you. There's 1 second where I'm like, say something nice. Say that you like it. Imagine if someone didn't like it. Yeah. Weird question here from Dan that says, how much do you make on YouTube? It's really bizarre that people ask that, because when I had my day job, no one ever came up to me and were like, how much do you make as a data development in the insurance industry? But for some reason, people think it's okay to ask me that now. I don't get why. Really weird. Weird. If you do want to learn about sort of how my business works, I understand the interest in that. It is fascinating. If you go to emmacruises.com and type in income, I'll show you all the different ways that I've built my business. I'm not going to tell you how much I earn, because that is none of your business. How much do you earn? What is your job? Don't know. I don't even know who you are. There's some weird questions in the chat today. Thank you so much, moderators. Appreciate you looking after it. Interesting. Mathematics. Yes, mathematics. I have never done a transatlantic cruise. No, the main reason was sort of when I was at work, I didn't want to use all that annual leave and then have to come straight back home again. Now I could do it in theory, and there are some incredibly cheap transatlantic cruises, but I would definitely want to do a transatlantic cruise and then do something at the other end. I don't want to just go there and then come back. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the cost of flights are more expensive than cruises across the ocean, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess it's slower. Not everyone has a spare week or two. Rich says, because everyone wants to know if it's worth it to start a YouTube channel. If you are willing, I mean, I did, I don't know, 3 or 4 years before I earn a penny. So if you want to start a job with a 3 or 4 year unpaid internship where you don't know if you're ever going to get paid, then go ahead. Go ahead. You can't, that is not the point. If that is your point of starting a YouTube channel, you will not get very far. You have to do it just because you want to do it. I mean, the main reason I sort of started my website and my channel in 2016 is because I would go on a cruise, I would come back, and I would say to my friends, can you believe it? On this cruise, they got rid of this. Or on this cruise, they didn't have a self-serve soda machine like they do on Anthem of the Seas. And my friends are like, what? So I started writing it down on the internet. Yeah. What is the key to finding cheap cruises? There are many keys, many keys. It is about sort of when you book, what you're looking at. Really, the key is flexibility. If you can be totally flexible on cruise line destination and time, then you can get a very, very cheap cruise. I have a lot of information about it on my website. That's the best place if you want to find out things like that. I tend to keep my YouTube channel as sort of like stories, where I'm going, what I do, and the, how to book a cabin, or should you use a travel agent? Those kind of questions are all answered on my website, emmacruises.com. Please check it out. Is toast a sandwich? I put butter on toast. Toast isn't a sandwich unless you get 2 pieces of toast, and then it's a toasted sandwich. But a toast is not a sandwich. These are the important questions here. Thank you, Matt. By the way, these questions don't have to be just cruise related. If you want to ask things about, life in the UK or anything random, then please feel free. But I do reserve the right to not answer them. Of course. Royal Caribbean freestyle soda machines are the best. I really missed it on Spectrum of the Seas. I cruised on Anthem of the Seas. I cruised on Symphony of the Seas more recently, and they had soda machines on there. And Spectrum doesn't have any, which is really sad. Really sad. Daniel says, love listening to your voice. You are adorable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am sick of my own voice. But yeah. An open-faced sandwich. Never heard of such a strange thing. What is your take on Virgin Cruises? I think that they're a quirky alternative to Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or one of those big American cruise lines. At the beginning, I didn't really understand it because I wasn't sure who they were marketing it to. But I have taken a cruise on Scarlet Lady, and everything I see now, it's just a party, chilled out version, bit random, definitely a bit random, on the mainstream of the mainstream cruise lines. I think if you did like cruising on Royal Caribbean or something, it's not a world away. It's not so different. Do you book cruise only or cruise and air? So I normally book through a travel agent. So I'm not booking my flights and cruise together through the cruise line necessarily, but I'm booking it through a travel agent. So if my flights are cancelled, they're the person sorting it out, not me. I think that's really the best way to do it. The flights with the cruise line sometimes can be great, but not always. Don't assume that they're always the best. Sometimes they're really terrible times. And if I'm booking a cruise with my travel agent, also called Emma, Team Emma there, and she says, Emma, this flight's at 3:20 in the morning that they've given you. Let's go in the day before and let's stay. Or it's cheaper to go this day. She'll suggest all of that kind of stuff. Lots of comments about the toasty thing in here. Have you ever vacationed in the US? Yes, loads of times. I first went to the US when I was 7, I think. I have family in the US. I've done quite a few US road trips around. Yeah, been to the US quite a lot, quite a lot. Quite a lot being UK quite, I guess. Do breakfast restaurants in the UK serve bacon sandwiches? Just plain bacon, plain bread? Yes. Yeah, that's the most common thing I would think. Even if you go to a pub, they'll have a bacon sandwich, bacon roll, bacon bap, whatever you want to call it. Bacon sandwich or sausage sandwich is like the go-to, I think. Why did you choose to use a travel agent? Because it is exactly the same price as booking through the cruise line, but they help me. If I need someone to phone the cruise line, they'll do it for me. If I want to change my dining, if I want to upgrade, they have more access than me to see certain cabins. And if you just book directly, you're still paying the same price. The cruise line just keeps the travel agent part. So I don't see why I wouldn't want free help, personally. Leo says, do people pay for travel agent services? You shouldn't be paying to book a cruise through a travel agent. If you were, I don't know why you would, but say you were planning a trip and you weren't going to actually book it, but they were just giving you like 3 hours of their planning time, then yes, you should pay for their time. But if you're booking a cruise with flights and hotel and stuff, you shouldn't pay extra. Do you have any favorite cruise vloggers? Any you watch regularly? I watch very many, and I try and keep up with as many as I can, but it is quite tricky. I have learned so much from everybody else, though, because, I watch videos from people like Gary at Tips for Travelers. He teaches me things about cruise lines I can barely imagine, luxurious cruise lines. I watch Alana, I watch Sherry, I watch, for my news, of course, I watch Tony, I watch Don, so many people. I love the people who do live streams. I'm always hopping in on JJ Cruise, and Paul and Carol are in here, and the Cruise Boys are in here, and the Cruise Monkeys are in here, and I do my best to keep up with it, but it's quite, it's quite a lot. It's quite tricky. But I know, if someone asked me about something like kids clubs or cruising solo or something I don't do, I try my best to send people. I watch Lucy at Cruising with Crew every time I'm asked about how do I get a job. Lucy, someone asked me about kids clubs, Cruise Boys. Yes. Yes, some travel agents have better rates. Yeah, it can definitely be cheaper. Or they can give you onboard credit, or they can just give you some champagne in the room or something. But it shouldn't ever be more expensive. Who are you sharing your cabin with this time? Boyfriend, dad, mum, brother. Does anyone else vlog? I'm sharing with my boyfriend Jono, and he doesn't want to be in the YouTube videos, which I think is totally fair. The more time I spend on YouTube, the less interested I am in putting anyone else on my channel. Because it is tricky. Yeah, Dan says, can't wait to see which cruise line Lucy is jumping to. Yes, interesting. I'm trying to keep up to date with everything, but it is tricky. I just try and really watch the channels that teach me things or make me happy. That's what I try and do on YouTube. Yes. Will you do a world cruise? I don't know. I'm asked very much, so I would like to do it just so I can say yes. But I don't have any plans to do it. Yes. Taking my first cruise in the Mediterranean. Any recommendations on a great starting port? Barcelona. Answered it. Done. That's it. Barcelona. It's the best one. It is the easiest one. It is so easy to get to from the hotel, from the airport. I mean, there's hotels everywhere. There's so much to see in Barcelona, and it is just the best. So, Barcelona. Barcelona. Have you ever wondered how your fellow passengers would react if there was a fire, blackout, serious incident on a cruise ship? No. No, not really. I have faith in the crew. They know what they're doing. It's none of my business. Is there a special sick room for those who get travel sick? They have medical centers on board cruise ships. If you're travel sick, though, you just go back to your cabin. There's no need for you to be in there. But they do have really quite impressive pharmacies on board. They're set up to do amazing things that you would never imagine that they do on ships. Of course, they don't want to do, surgeries and stuff on the ship, and they will take you to a hospital if they can. But they are prepared to do things, which is cool. If you need an X-ray or something, a lot of the cruise ships, they just do it for you, which is cool. It will cost you a lot of money, though. So much money. So make sure you have travel insurance. Oh, hello, James, from the Loca fam. Nice to see you. It is good to see you. You have access to 150 podcasts from me now as a member of my channel. I also do outtakes from my main videos. It's just me messing up my words. And yeah, we have a Discord chat and all kinds of things. So I will see you on the inside. Yeah. Cruise boys say cruise monkeys rock. Yes, I love creators who love other creators. Of course I do. Yes, Barcelona is the best starting port in the Med, no question. Yes. Every time a member joins, an angel gets its wings. That is quite funny. I like that one. Bill says, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? So I'm taking a cruise tomorrow on board P&O's Arvia. Very, very exciting. It's a big family trip. I've cruised before on Iona, which is the sister ship of Arvia. So fingers crossed I'll like it. I'm very excited because they have a roast dinner station on board. Very British cruise line. And I'm looking forward to that because there's no flying. There's no time zones. Hopefully it's very easy. I'm not ready. I'm not packed. I'm trying to dry my clothes. Anyone else in the UK without a dryer trying to dry their clothes at the minute? It is impossible. I have a dehumidifier, but I think I'm just going to get a hairdryer at some point and try and dry these clothes. But also, I think this may be the winter where I get a dryer. It's going to have to go here. Like, you're not going to see it, but this is the only space I have in my house left. So, yeah, we're going to do that. But the discount this week is sweaters. I have tested these sweaters and I've decided that they're very good. They have nice little cuffs on them. They're very soft, and also the neck is not too tight. I hate jumpers that like strangle me. But this one says, all I want for Christmas is a cruise. And it has a ship with a little bow on it. I hope you like it. I designed it myself. And the discounts for 24 hours only on all of the sweaters. So as we move into winter, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, Katie says clothes drying in the UK is impossible. It isn't it? Just yeah. Cruise boys say you can come and use our dryer. Bit late now, but in future I'll bear that in mind. Thank you, guys. I think I'm going to get a dryer. Yeah, I know. Couldn't imagine living without AC or a dryer. It's totally fine in summer. I don't think I'll ever really use a dryer in summer. I have a washing line. It dries out there pretty fast, but it's been raining a lot recently, so everything is just damp. My washing, I did put it outside before I did this live stream, so fingers crossed it doesn't rain or my clothes are going to get wet, but they're already wet. So what does it matter? Is Southampton easy to get to from London for cruising? I think so. You have quite a lot of different options: trains, taxis, coaches. If you're coming into an airport, I have a guide on my website, I think, for most of the main London airports. Yes. Southampton, yes, easy peasy. All I want for Christmas is to cruise. Yes. Yeah, cruise boys say you need a dryer. It's just the space issue. My house is not designed. In the UK, my washing machine is in the kitchen. There's no space for I would love a dishwasher. That's the main thing. But yeah, you can get tiny ones. You can get little ones. Dryers are not common in the UK. I looked it up. It says 50% pretty much. It was like around half the people in the UK have a dryer. We just dry clothes outside, but also it does rain a lot here, so it's a bit tricky. Bring your wet clothes and send them for drying on the ship. That's a good idea, but they probably will smell all musty, right? I think. Yeah. Cookies or chocolates? What's going to be your pick on the cruise? I think one nice balance on each hand. I think cookies and chocolates. I love cookies. I had a Subway cookie just before I came on this live stream, but also I love chocolate. So it's tricky, tricky. Yeah, rain on your washing is fine. Rinse and refresh. Exactly. It'll be fine. Yeah. My last cruise was fantastic because it was so humid. I dried my clothes on the balcony in a few seconds. Few seconds. Steven says, "How do you find cheap cruises? Every time I look, they're expensive as heck. My happy place for a cruise is around £100 per person per night, including the gratuities if I can. That's my happy space, and I think that is very good. You know, when you have a look at hotels, if you were to go to Barcelona and stay in a hotel, that wouldn't include your food, wouldn't include your entertainment. I think cruising is, I don't know, just better value than staying on land. And I have cruised for as little as £38 per person per night, which is, I don't know what that is in dollars, but well under $50 per person per night, which I think is pretty cool. But there's so much that goes into finding cheap cruises. Really, it's flexibility. If you can take a cruise out of peak season, if you can avoid school holidays, if you can book it either really far in advance or last minute, that's the best way to do it. But yeah, go to emmacruises.com, type in cheap, type in anything, and I have a free guide. Even if you just download the free guide on my homepage, it'll enroll you in a free email course that is 16 emails, I think. Everything I know about how to find a cheap cruise. So please get that. It's been really good, actually, that free course, because I have a audio version and I have a written version, and the written version sends you an email every 3 days. And some people get into day 2 and they think, oh, I can't bother to read anymore, but this is good, so they'll join the audio version, listen to me in the car, which is kind of weird. And it's so cool, but it's so weird to think I'm in someone else's car. And it's about 4 hours of me talking. So those two exist. What about a washer dryer combo? I mean, my washer is barely a washer. It's pretty small. I wouldn't want to give it any other tasks. Yeah. And I'd love to have a laundry room, so I didn't have to have the washing machine in the kitchen. That's the dream. Yeah, exactly. Arvia has laundry. It does. That's not a normal thing. Most American cruise lines, you pay for laundry, and they don't have sort of a self-wash laundry, but I think I might wash some clothes. Yes. I mean, all of my sort of dresses that I would wear on a cruise, I haven't worn them in a long time anyway, so they are fine. It's just my normal sort of trousers and stuff, trying to get them dry. Yeah, washer dryer means neither work very well. I get that impression. What is the longest trip you can take? I want a trip to Australia. The longest I've ever done was my Singapore to Tokyo, I think, because I stayed 2 nights before. Time difference meant I really had 1 day, and then I stayed 1 night at the end, and it was 12 nights. So about 2 weeks is the longest cruise I've ever done. 14 nights is the longest cruise I've ever done. Yes. But if going to Australia, absolutely want to stay there for longer than that. The flight that I took to Singapore was actually going to Sydney, but the thought of getting off after 13 hours and then getting back on for another, I don't know how many hours it is. Yeah. Oh, Todd says, I've been receiving your email course and it's already very helpful for a first timer. Love it. Thank you so much. It was really nice for me to get everything out of my brain, out of my brain and down into one place. Oh, David says, you're in my kitchen now. Let me know where I am. It's really cool. Yeah, my mum says, saw a cheap cruise, MSC cruise this is. It's £350 in February. A new ship, will probably rain. I mean, to be fair, I took an MSC cruise in January. If you can do January, November, very, very cheap. Mine was the same, £350 for included flights to Barcelona and a week in a balcony, which is just crazy. Richard says, will Emma Cruises do more international cruises? I'm not sure what you mean by international cruises because I don't take any not international cruises. Oh, I'm in the office. Interesting. Yeah, another 9 hours. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a long flight. That is a long flight. Yes. You need to shut the washing and humidifier in the smallest room you have and it will dry super quick. Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. Yeah, you might be able to hear it, actually, my humidifier. But Yes. Have you ever considered a cruise on a canal boat? I have. Look, I suppose I have in passing. It's not something I have any plans to do. I don't have any booked. There's not going to be, one popping up on this channel anytime soon, but it'll be interesting for sure. Very, very different. Hello from Bermuda. Ah, very nice. Very nice to see you. Um, Yes. Do you feel any particular cruise line is your home from home? I don't think so. I like the variety. I don't like to get too homely, as we were saying in the UK, too settled on one cruise line. I'm not loyal to any cruise line. I don't suggest that anyone is loyal to any cruise line. I don't think it's worth it in any way. So, yeah. I'm on the phone in the kitchen on the windowsill. Ah, very cool. Cooking dinner. Very nice. Very nice. Jono's cooking me dinner while I do this live stream. He is very lovely. Saw a 7-day Norwegian cruise that leaves in 2 days for $289. Yes, last minute you can get very cheap cruises. You can, yeah, last minute cruises, fantastic. Obviously, you run the risk of it being sold out. So if you really want to do a cruise, don't leave it until 2 days before. But if you're not, you have a week off work, you don't really care where you go, you got your eye on like 3 or 4 cruises, you can get good deals, really, really good deals. You will have to add on gratuities with Norwegian. And when the price is that low, the gratuities are probably that or more, but still. Princess have self-serve laundry rooms. Yes, they do. They do. They do. They do. Yeah, I'm loyal to Royal, but only because I have status in their casino, meaning I get free drinks in the casino bar. But how much is it worth? There may be a cruise with Norwegian that's half the price of Royal Caribbean, but then a lot of people are very loyal, so they don't look outside. And I just think, what are you missing out on? I think. Are P&O cruises going to the US market as MSC has? No, and they're making it very tricky when we try and book. So I work with travel agents, not just in the UK, but also in the US. And we have people all the time who want to book P&O cruises through us, and we can do it, but it's not easy. P&O do not make that a process that's very easy. Yes. P&O Arvia. Yeah, P&O Arvia. Looking forward to it. It looks very, very cool. Very cool. And this was not an expensive cruise. I'll let you know more about it when I'm back and when I put together my videos. But I always try and do in the end of my full cruise review, I'll say how much I paid for it. Adding together everything for my last cruise, the excursions, the Wi-Fi and the drinks, and the flights cost more than the cruise. That was quite interesting for me. Richard says, are there specific travel agents you recommend? Yes, there are. I work with travel agents because I booked cruises through them and then picked them as my favorites. And it got to a point where it was like, I'm not going to recommend anybody else now. So I just put it on my website. If you go emmacruises.com, click the book button, the quotes come through to me and my agents that I work with. Matt says that can't be right. It can't. Like, cruises can get that cheap if it's either a case of it going empty or you paying $289, and then hopefully you're going to spend money in the casino. You're going to buy drinks and stuff. It can be right. Thank you to my mum who's in the chat who shared the link. That is much appreciated. Much appreciated. What are your tips for cruising alone? Go to emmacruises.com, type in solos, and you'll find a lot more tips than I can think of off the top of my head. Will there be a live chat next week? That's a very good question. And I am going to go live at some point, but I'm not sure when, because cruise ship Wi-Fi. I do have Wi-Fi, but it'll probably be better if I do it when we're in port and I use my 4G because it's probably more reliable than the Wi-Fi. We will see. We will see. Yes. And it may not be at the same time or the same day, but I will let you know. I will let you know. Best... I don't know about things on land. I only know about cruise ships. Have you been on MSC World Europa? I haven't. I have it booked though, so keep an eye out and I will show you about it. I think it's really interesting because I cruised recently on Symphony of the Seas, which is the second biggest cruise ship in the world by 1 meter, and that's owned by Royal Caribbean, the American cruise line. And MSC World Europa is kind of like MSC took a peek at Royal Caribbean's cruise ship and took what they wanted from that design, didn't take everything. So I'm really interested to see if it's like the Italian version of that ship that I was on. Thanks, Jackie, for sharing my link. I appreciate it very much. I could just do this whole live stream and just shout out links, and then Jackie and Kevin in the chat could share them. but that wouldn't be very much fun. I just try and sort of move quite fast between the questions on this live stream because I don't know, I value your time. I appreciate you joining me for the live stream, and I don't want you to be bored at any point. So, yeah. Also, I don't expect you to come to these live streams every week. I don't expect you to be here for the full hour. If you have any spare time and you put me just on in the background, that's appreciated. I normally put live streams on if I'm sort of cleaning something or if I'm brushing my teeth or something. So I try and do the same back for you. I'm here for 1 hour at least per week. Any tips on doing a British Isles cruise? My top tip would be to look at the itinerary you've booked and find out which ones are tender ports. Because my last British Isles cruise surprised me with how many tender ports we had, and it does make a big difference. So a tender port is when you don't dock actually at the land. You stop, you stop, and you get on the little lifeboats and you go to land. Which sounds fine in theory, but if you're on a ship that has 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people on it, you can imagine that it takes a while, right? So if you're doing a cruise line excursion, you normally get to go off first, and then you get a ticket system, and then you can go after that. But you can be on a tender port, and you get up and you wait 3 hours before you can get off. So it's worth having a look at which ones are tender ports. It may be worth booking excursions, maybe if there's something you want to see, or just planning to have a lie-in. That's normally my plan if I'm somewhere where I've been before. Oh, Lou says, I cancel all other activities to be here live. Lou, I know that is not true because sometimes you have other plans. But I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's my main British Isles tip. Look at the and also obviously bring a coat. I don't care if it's summer, bring a coat. We had glorious weather on my British Isles cruise that I did with Princess, though. I was sunbathing as we were going around the top of Scotland, which didn't expect that to be there. I remember having this big plate of cheesy chips. Oh, it was really good. It was really nice. It was a really good cruise. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you go to my channel, the video's called something like I saw 57 of Britain's best sites. And I basically gave myself a to-do list of all of the top things to do in each port and saw if I could do them all by cruise ship. And I think we got almost all of them from memory. Yeah, pack for 4 seasons. Exactly. You're going to need a coat. Even if it says it's going to be 30 degrees every day, pack a coat, maybe pack an umbrella and comfortable walking shoes because you're going to be walking quite a lot probably if you're exploring by yourself. And also it'll be quite cobbly in some other places, cobblestones. Compare the British Isles cruises. I don't really know what that means. Daniel says, what do you mean by having a lie-in? Is that a British nap? Is that a Britishism, having a lie-in? Sleeping in? Having a lie-in means laying in late, not getting up early, having a lie-in. Have we just found a new Britishism? Because if we have, I'll put it on my list. I have a list on my phone. And then when I'm writing my scripts and I notice certain things, I think, is that a Britishism? A lie-in would be a really easy one for me to do. Andrew says, does the sea look different in different places? Yes, absolutely. Very different. I was looking earlier at some of my stuff from Bermuda. I shared a post about Bermuda, and the color, it was like see-through, turquoise, beautiful. And then some places it's like a dark green. Lion is a Britishism. Who knew it? Interesting. Aussies say lion too. Ah, I see. Interesting. Walking on cobblestones is horrible with luggage. Yes, it is. And when it's wet, it gets very slippy. I did a cycling thing in Tallinn, and it was a cruise line excursion. It was so rainy. They said, if you want to cancel, we'll give you all a full refund because it's so rainy. And I was like, nah, it'll be fine. I hadn't cycled in years. We did a lot of cycling, and it was cobblestones. That's really painful. And we got so drenched. When I took my socks off, the pattern from my socks was just on my feet. Yeah. Why do you call bars pubs? I don't. Bars and pubs are very different. Yeah. Jackie says lion is definitely a Britishism. In the USA, we would say I slept in. But how do you say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to have a sleep in? We would say, oh, I'm going to have a lion tomorrow. Yes, I think I've had bits and bobs before as a Britishism. I use bits and bobs all the time. I'm sure I used it in my last one. Yeah, I'm sure. Americans say sleeping in. Interesting. What are your tips and tricks for Spectrum? We'll be traveling on Spectrum on Monday. Oh, I don't know how I can answer this possibly within a couple of minutes. I've spent 2 hours today recording tips and tricks for Spectrum, but it's not going to be out before you go on the cruise on Monday. My main tip would be watch out for something called Coke Plus, and if you find it, be aware it has added fiber and it may be a laxative because that's what the internet says. So don't drink a lot of that. That's my main tips. But yeah, it was very different from an American or a British Royal Caribbean cruise, but you'll still find the normal trivia, you'll still find the normal food that you're used to. You'll just find like people are very different on there. So you'll find certain nationalities in certain places. And if you want to find Brits, you go to trivia. And if you want to find people from Singapore, you go to karaoke. If you go on the top deck, it's going to be all Australians and Brits and Americans. And if you go inside, then you'll find everyone else. So it was interesting. Interesting. Wait, I thought you said lion. Oh my God, I was confused. Does that make it when you stay up too late being tigered? That's good. I like that one. Yeah, lion means in the morning. Say I'm sleeping in, just having a lazy day. Glad to spark up a Britishism. That is good. Every single Britishism I have, I was going to say I wasn't born knowing these, but I was born knowing the phrases, maybe, but I wasn't born knowing that they were Britishisms. So they've all come from comments from different people at different times. Yeah, very, very cool. When it comes to the jumper sweater Britishism, I have a design of my t-shirts and mugs and stickers and stuff that says, I wanted a cruise for my birthday, Christmas, anniversary, whatever it is, but all I got is this mug, t-shirt, sticker, etc. I have loads of these on my shop, immacruisershop.com. And when it comes to the sweater, I'm going to have to make a jumper and a sweater version because I want to wear one that says jumper, not sweater. But the majority of people who watch these videos, the majority of you watching this probably are from not the UK. So what do I do? What do I do? I don't know. That is on my to-do list. I have not done that yet. But oh my goodness, it is nearly the end of this live stream. Time is flying. Time is flying, which is kind of good. I love these live streams. I don't want them to end, but I have so much to do this evening. So oh goodness. Fingers crossed I don't forget anything. I don't think so. I don't think so. A jumping sweater. It's a sweatshirt in the US, not a sweater. I thought a sweater was like an umbrella term for different things. The same way as a jumper is, I would say a hoodie is a jumper, a cardigan is a jumper, anything that's between a coat and a t-shirt is a jumper. It's like a thing. Make it read sweatshirt. Interesting. So should I put sweatshirt on the one that's like this? And do I just put hoodie on the one that's a hoodie? Maybe? I don't know. Please let me know. But anyway, the discount is sweaters because that's what it is called. So fingers crossed that's okay. And that's 24 hours only. So, well, we're going to have a falling out if you say a hoodie is not a jumper. A hoodie is literally a jumper. It is a jumper. I would Google it, what a definition of a jumper is. Go on and grab your new Hudson before you go. This is my new Hudson. You're right. I do need to pack him. I have forgotten to bring Hudson before, but I will remember. I remember. Interesting. Many debates about sweatshirts and sweaters. Who knew it was such a big thing? But yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this live stream. We have a couple of minutes. If you have any quick fire questions, ones that I can answer with yes or no or maybe or a number or something, then that would be really, really cool. But I will be, of course, bringing you along with this cruise. I'm going to be doing everything else as normal. I have Wi-Fi on the cruise. I've been to, I think, every port before. So for me, it's not so much about the destinations. It's more about the ship, and I will be working on board. So hopefully you won't miss me. It should be the same as normal. But just a bit more interesting. Share some new pictures and things. Yes. Dan says, who is your favorite Dan? Dan, you are my favorite Dan. Any other Dans watching? What is your favorite number? 3. Thank you, Todd. That's a good question. How many cruises have you done with P&O? Oh, I have cruised on Britannia, Ventura, and Iona twice, and now I'm going on Arvia. You can add that up. Oh no, Dan's. I'm sorry, Dan's. Dan made me do it. You made me say it. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for this live stream. I appreciate it. I will let you know when my live is next week. I'm not sure at the minute, but I will let you know I will let you know. Thank you so much, everybody, from me and from little Hudson. So cute. Look at him. Ooh, the Beatles called it a sweater. Ah, interesting. Right, I gotta go now. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you soon. Goodbye.